Few hunters use primitive equipment anymore. Ben Massey is a rarity, but there's just something cool about the way a wooden bow looks in the timber.
Alright, it's the morning of November 4th. It's probably about 2 hours before daylight. I'm packing up all my gear here. I'm gonna slip back into a bedding area set. It's a little bit late, honestly, to get in there, but there's a decent amount of breeze and the ground's still pretty wet, so I should be able to sneak in pretty well. I have never set this spot. Hung it about 1.5 years ago. Zach helped me trim it out, and I'm sure it's a jungle again. It's just a mess of honeysuckle in there. But it's at the north end of that ridge that I hunted here in suburbia the other night, or the other morning, and saw Bentley. But it's at the north end of that, and it's just a nasty, thick bedding area. Wish me luck. I'll see you in a tree here in hopefully less than an hour. Meow. Well, it's gotten pretty dead this morning. It's about 11:15. And all I've seen in the past couple hours has been a coyote. Hopefully he didn't find my deer before I even had a chance to get down and look, but I don't know. I looked back at that footage quite a few times and it's definitely forward, but I was so zoomed out just to make sure it was in frame that I couldn't tell. I can zoom it in on the computer at home, but that's not going to make a difference. I'm going to go look for it either way. I look over and I can see it laying there. You probably can't from right there, but straight through about 15 yards. Good, it's a doe. Yes. I really hate shooting button bucks if I can avoid it. There you go. Like I said, not big. Got it done. And there's still quite a bit of season left. I had a feeling I'd probably be holding this doe tag for another month at least. That's awesome. First sit in there, it was a good sit. I'll definitely be back in there. That's a good midday spot, it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and start dragging her out, try to get her out of here. Use some of the afternoon at home still. So good day. Well, it's the evening of November 6th, and I'm getting ready to go do a hanging hunt on a property that I actually had, sounds ridiculous to say, I'd almost forgotten about it. I've got permission to hunt just a little patch of timber. I've got northeast winds for the next couple days, and I don't really have a whole lot of options for that wind direction, and this is one of them. Last year I had a camera in here. I don't even have a camera in here this year. Last year I had a camera. Lots of buck activity that first week in November, actually into the second week also. Kind of running behind on time a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and slip in there with my lone wolf and do a hanging hunt. It's basically just kind of a doe bedding area, and bucks like to cruise. easy real quick. That was awesome. That was about the best rutting activity I've seen in a couple years. Well, it's November 9th, and I'm going in for the afternoon hunt. It's just about 2 o'clock. This is a piece of property that I picked up this year that I have yet to even hunt. I've been monitoring it with cameras and haven't had a whole lot going on. It's pretty much just a thicket, and it's a nasty, horrible thicket, just basically all honeysuckle. But I've been watching my cameras because I knew that eventually during the rut or toward late season, some deer are going to suck into this little bit of timber. And turns out that I checked my camera yesterday, and well, I checked 2 cameras. One of them didn't have much, and then I went up into the woods to go check another one that was on an active scrape. On the way in, there were some big sets of tracks, and I had a feeling that there was something in there. Turns out it's a really nice buck, but it's a mainframe 11 that has a big inside point, probably 10 or 12 inch inside point. Big beams, wide, just not super tall, but just a stud, mature buck. He'd probably be in the 160s, so I mean it would be one of my better deer. He's a big old brute of a deer. It doesn't even matter what he scores. He's an awesome buck, but he was in there in daylight the past, he was in there in daylight on the 6th and 7th. I checked my camera yesterday on the 8th. There's been a couple hot does in here, so this place has quite a few does according to camera. Hopefully one of them walks by and he's right behind them. I'm going to sneak into a hanging hunt on a place that I've picked out. I think I know what tree. Quietly cut some shooting lanes. Luckily it's super windy. And I may leave that stand there because the wind should be right for it again tomorrow.
Ben would finish his season eating a buck tag, but he's okay with that too. He's preparing now to change his luck for this upcoming season. We can't win them every time. If we did, we probably wouldn't enjoy it as much. Be safe, people, and thanks for watching the White Knuckle Web Show.
Got our O's on right now. Yeah, that's was hard to do with Kyle right there. It's a 5-year-old buck I nicknamed Double Dragon. He is a beautiful, but he got straight downwind, smelled the ozone, didn't know what it was, came right to us. You could see him lifting his nose. The wind is absolutely dead calm right now. It's just floating downhill. Watch that. Right to him. You cannot deny that he was just sitting there looking up at us in the tree. Not only one person, but 2 people. But it's not a human. It doesn't smell like a human, so we're not humans. So they're almost curious.
I was hoping we would get to see that buck, though. He's pretty, isn't he?